same grind, folks. Guys, I'm on the way to another no heat call. Guys, this call came in yesterday. This is a brand new customer. She said that she heard noise down inside the furnace, and she said this is a gas furnace. She said she heard noise downstairs inside the unit, and she turned the heat off immediately. So, guys, I don't know if this is another motor problem, or I don't know if something's stuck inside the unit. We'll find out when we get there. I'll see y'all when I get inside. I'll see you in a little bit. Guys, here is a 90% York. Looks to be 80,000 BTUs. And I want you to hear something here. I took the filter out. Doesn't look too bad. But I'm gonna show you the sound that it's making. I want you guys to hear this. And I just spoke to the customer. They said that the unit was still working. Like heat, the house is still heating up, and they had air blowing out the vents when it was making a sound, but it got so loud that they turned it off. Let me turn the light off here so you can see. I want you to hear when this blower motor turns on. And what do you guys think about that? Let me pull the housing. I'll be right back. I had to take this thing outside. I needed more space, but you guys see this here? See that? See that play? This wheel is definitely broke. And guys, it looks like this is the OEM motor that's in here. So what I gotta do is I gotta call this in. I'm gonna get the customer the cost of the new blower wheel. And also I'm gonna recommend replacing the motor. This is due to the fact that I know that furnace is at least 14, 15 years old. So it's best to, like I said, kill two birds with one stone. I'll hate to put this wheel in and then 2 or 3 years later this motor locks up. All right, guys, let me call this in. I'll be right back. Guys, it must be Friday. Look at this BS. I go there, the door is locked. I go halfway around the building to an unmarked building, and I see this inside the holder. And the GPS takes you over here. But according to this piece of paper, we got ourselves a good old scavenger hunt, boys. They need to update this on Google Maps, because I don't know what the fuck is going on. What I'm going to, door number 56? All right, that's where we at. It must be Friday. That's my only explanation for all this. All this to pick up a goddamn motor and a wheel. All right, guys, let me find some parking. Let's get going. I'll see y'all in a little bit. 20 minutes later. Guys, I got my precious cargo. Let's get back to the job site. I'll see y'all when I get back. All right, guys, we're back on the job site, and I couldn't get this shaft out freely. So with this one, I need my pulley puller, and I want to show you guys something real quick. This is a good bracket. I like the fact that the bracket and the legs are all one piece. I don't have to finagle and finesse the legs around the bracket. Like I said, everything is good. And guys, yes, I do have another bracket, but I will only use my bracket as a worst case scenario. These are the good ones, but yeah, guys, I use my puller, got the motor out. So now I got to put my pulley puller up and make sure I don't lose any of my accessories. And yeah, guys, let's get this wheel out and let's get the new one on before we get the new motor in. All right, I'll see y'all in a little bit. Let's roll. Guys, I got my motor out. Once again, I'm going to reuse the bracket. And look at the seams on this squirrel cage. You guys see that? And look at the play. So guys, of course, this just could have been a warped wheel, but like I said, guys, depends on the age of the unit. I never take a chance on just replacing the squirrel cage and keeping the motor. There's nothing wrong with doing both together. However, guys, once again, if this was a newer unit and the squirrel cage was warped and I tested this motor and it was still working, you can always do a visual observation, make sure the wires are okay. And for sure, if the motor is okay, sometimes if the furnace is like under 10 years old, you can probably just keep the motor. But guys, once again, since this is a 14-year-old furnace, and by me looking at this, can I clean this? Yeah, but like I said, guys, I wouldn't trust this motor. And I explained to the customer, he understood the fact that I'm taking this out. I told him, you can cut some time down in the future if we just do the motor now. So the customer understood and he agreed. So I'm gonna clean this housing a little bit. But yeah, guys, let me clean this housing and let's get this new squirrel cage in and let's get this show on the road here. I'll see you in a little bit. We got our new wheel. And as you see, spot on. Now guys, I am not a blower wheel expert. Typically what we do, if we're close enough to the supply house, we just take our blower wheel straight to our local supply house. They match it up and they get us another one. But guys, another method, if you do have the label on your existing blower wheel, you can just relay your part number on the particular blower wheel to your supplier and they can match it up. Now guys, you never want to spitball or guesstimate your sizes on your squirrel cage. I repeat, always go off the sticker, off the original squirrel cage, and whatever the supplier gives you, at least they have a reference. But plan B, if you didn't have a sticker to go off of, you can always use your model and serial number too as well. That'll be a decent reference. But guys, if you don't have no model and serial number, nor you don't have a sticker on the original squirrel cage, you can always go off of the diameter from one end to the middle. This is a 6. And like I said, guys, the biggest thing is you want to make sure what you're putting in is the same as what you're taking out. Because like I said, guys, this isn't a universal wheel. This is OEM. If you put something in bigger or the wrong rotation, I had this happen to me a couple years ago. And like I said, guys, I paid the cost and learned my mistakes. Always take the time. Don't be too quick. Just because this may look like the squirrel cage you took out, that do not mean that this will work. Always match it up with the appropriate diameters, meaning from one end to your hub, which is the middle. And also, guys, make sure that the direction, whether it be clockwise or counterclockwise, whatever the case is, make sure that both blades are going in the same direction. All right. Now, with that being said, let's get our new squirrel cage into our housing and let the party commence. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, guys. Right now, just testing my new blower wheel, and I got my new motor in. Cool, purring like a kitten. All right, guys. Now, this is a 1/2 horsepower motor, so I got my 10 microfarad cap. And guys, what's weird is like with the old motor, they had the black wire, which is high speed. They had the black wire teed off to heat and cool. So regardless if the heat or AC ran, this motor will always run in high speed. And the good thing about these universal rescue motors is that black is of course high speed, but medium high, which I think is blue, if I'm not mistaken, the medium high is still in the same class as high. So technically, guys, with this new motor, I don't have to tee it off. I can just use medium high. And don't quote me on that, guys. I think blue is medium high. Might be. But like I said, guys, whatever medium whatever medium high speed is, that's what I'm going to use for my heat. But yeah, guys, so like I said, I see that a lot with older blower motors. Maybe, like I said, with older blower motors, the low speed sometimes is too low. So I get why they did it. Maybe, like I said, the low speed was probably too low. So, and this motor doesn't have more than 2 speeds. It's either high or low. So maybe they just wanted to use high speed as a constant speed for heat and AC. But luckily, I don't have to do that, like I said, with this new motor. But all right, guys, enough yapping. Let's pack everything up and clean up, and let's get back downstairs and let's get this bad boy assembled. Also, I'm gonna have to zip tie all these wires. I don't want anything to get caught up in the wheel. All right, guys, let's get to it. I'll be right back. And guys, just as a helpful reminder, to each his own, but I like using zip ties over black tape when I tape up these wires. And I admit it, I used to be a victim of using black tape on my blow motors all the way out. But guys, eventually you realize you're going to be wasting a bunch of electrical tape. 2 zip ties is all you need. Like I said, we don't need, like I said, this doesn't have to look fancy. The biggest thing is you just don't want any loose wires hanging and potentially catching the wheel and cutting the wires. So 2 zip ties is all you need. And like I said, it's going to save you a bunch of electrical tape down the line. All right, guys, let's get to it. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, guys. Got the housing halfway in. I can't put this housing all the way in because I still have to mount the circuit board on. So I'm just going to do the wires here. And then next, I get to play my favorite game. Reinstall 1,000 screws. But I got my angle needle nose for when I need it. So let's wire this motor up. I'll be right back. All right, guys. We got our new motor in. And we got our new filter in. And let's see how this thing sounds compared to the one that we just took out. She's purring like a kitten. Cool, that's what we want. And what I'll do is I'm gonna go to the truck and I wanna test this condensate pump to make sure that's flowing. Cool. All our hoses are hooked up. All right, guys. There you have it. No heat. We found this blower motor. Well, we found the burners igniting, but we found the blower wheel broken and making a very, very loud screeching sound. So I pulled the assembly, replaced the wheel and the motor, and replaced the filter. And I spoke with this customer about maintenance, but he told me that he's selling the house before the spring. So what I'll do is I'll put a sticker on the furnace, and whoever moves in, if they stay here, or whoever moves in, if they need service done, they can always reach out and give us a shout. But yeah, guys, Maintenance is definitely important. Now, the only other thing I can think of that we could have did, I'm saying before this happened, is maybe cleaning the blower wheel. I know sometimes, guys, another thing that can happen is if you get a bunch of dirt and build up on the blower wheel, that could cause it over time to run unbalanced, and eventually, guys, with wear and tear and dirt and build up, it's only a matter of time before something breaks. But like I said, what we do during the AC maintenance in the spring is we check our capacitors, and we also inspect the blower wheel to make sure that the blower wheel isn't severely caked up. Even if it's not making a sound, it only takes 2 seconds to pull the motor and inspect it and clean it, because like I said, guys, once sounds and noises come up, it's already too late to think about cleaning the wheel. At that point, you gotta replace the wheel and or the motor, depends on what's going on. But alright, guys, that's enough yapping. I gotta get to another stop, and I gotta roll out on this Good Friday. Peace out. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.